Before Ethereum became one of the most valuable technologies in the world, there was a programmer quietly working behind the scenes who would help shape the future of blockchain forever. His name is Dr. Gavin Wood. Most people know Ethereum through its co-founder Vitalik Buterin. But many don't realize that Gavin Wood was the engineer who transformed Ethereum from an idea into a working system. He created the Ethereum virtual machine, wrote the Ethereum Yellow Paper, and developed Solidity, the programming language that powers most smart contracts on Ethereum today. Without Gavin Wood, Ethereum as we know it might never have existed. But his story goes far beyond Ethereum. After helping launch the world's most important smart contract platform, Wood walked away to pursue an even bigger vision. He founded Polkadot, pioneered the concept of Web 3, and began working on technologies designed to create a decentralized internet where users, not corporations, control their data, identity, and digital lives. Along the way, he became one of the most influential thinkers in crypto, challenging conventional ideas about trust, governance, privacy, and the future of the internet itself. Yet despite helping create billions of dollars in value and an entire blockchain industry, Gavin Wood believes the original mission of crypto is still unfinished. This is the story of the visionary engineer who helped build Ethereum, the architect behind Web 3, and the man still trying to reinvent the internet. What if one of the people who built Ethereum believes it still hasn't achieved its real purpose? Not because the technology failed. Not because crypto failed. But because the entire industry got distracted. Today, Ethereum secures hundreds of billions of dollars. It powers thousands of applications. It created fortunes that transformed ordinary people into millionaires. Yet one of its architects says the biggest dream behind crypto remains unfinished. And according to him, the reason isn't technical. It's something far more surprising. Because the story of Ethereum isn't really about money. It's about trust. And the future of the internet itself. When Ethereum launched, many believed it would change the world. Not just finance. Everything. Supply chains. Digital identity. Ownership. Governance. Communication. The vision was a new internet where people could interact without needing to trust giant corporations, governments, or powerful intermediaries. A world where software could replace institutions. A world where freedom was built directly into the technology. But more than a decade later, most people associate crypto with speculation, meme coins, and endless trading. So, what happened? How did the industry drift so far from its original mission? And why does Ethereum's co-founder believe the biggest opportunities are still ahead? To answer that, we need to go back to the beginning. Long before Ethereum existed, Gavin Wood wasn't trying to build a financial revolution. He was a programmer. A thinker. Someone fascinated by systems. As a child, life wasn't easy. Raised by a single mother after growing up around an abusive father, he developed an unusual appreciation for stability and safety. At the same time, he became obsessed with understanding how things worked. Music. Software. Games. Human behavior. Nothing was accepted at face value. Everything was something to analyze. That mindset eventually led him into computer science, where he pursued research and worked on projects that blended technology with creativity. By his own admission, he never cared much about money. Again and again, he chose interesting work over higher-paying opportunities. Investment banks offered lucrative careers. He walked away. Research projects paid less. He chose those instead. Curiosity always won. And that curiosity would eventually lead him toward a strange new technology called Bitcoin. When Bitcoin first appeared, most people ignored it. Many dismissed it as internet money for tech enthusiasts. But Gavin saw something different. Not the price. Not the speculation. The architecture. For the first time in history, strangers could coordinate online without trusting each other. That may sound simple today, but at the time, it was revolutionary. Every major system on the internet depended on trusted intermediaries. Banks processed payments. Governments verified identities. Platforms controlled communication. Bitcoin introduced a completely different idea. What if trust itself could become software? What if rules could replace institutions? Those questions became even more important after the Edward Snowden revelations exposed the extent of global surveillance. Suddenly, trust in digital systems looked very different. People discovered that many of the protections they assumed existed simply weren't there. For Gavin, this became the foundation of a larger vision. A vision he would later call Web 3. But here's where things get interesting. Bitcoin solved one problem. Ethereum was designed to solve a much bigger one. Most people think Ethereum was built to create digital money. It wasn't. Ethereum was built to create a decentralized computer. A shared machine anyone could use. A platform where applications could run without depending on a company or government. This was a radically larger ambition than Bitcoin. And it almost never happened. In late 2013, Gavin Wood was nearly out of money. After multiple startups failed to gain traction, he was preparing to abandon the entrepreneurial path entirely. He had roughly enough money left for 1 month of rent. The logical move was obvious. Get a stable job. Work at a bank. Move on. Then he read Ethereum's white paper. The idea immediately captured his attention. Not because it promised wealth, because it presented a new possibility. A way to expand the principles behind Bitcoin into something much larger. He started coding. Months later, he became one of Ethereum's co-founders. He built the Ethereum virtual machine, created Solidity, wrote the Ethereum Yellow Paper, and helped transform a theoretical concept into reality. But even then, the goal wasn't creating a giant speculative market. The goal was creating useful systems people couldn't build before. And that's where the story takes an unexpected turn. According to Gavin, Ethereum succeeded financially beyond anyone's expectations. It created enormous wealth. It launched an entire industry. It inspired thousands of projects. But by the metrics he originally cared about, the results are more complicated. Because the real objective wasn't price appreciation. It was utility. The dream was a world where blockchain technology solved real problems. Imagine buying a shirt and instantly seeing where the cotton came from, where it was processed, who manufactured it, how it moved through the supply chain. Imagine digital identity systems that protected privacy instead of harvesting personal information. Imagine services that couldn't be censored, manipulated, or controlled by a single organization. These were the kinds of applications early builders imagined. Yet most never reached mainstream adoption. Why? The common explanation is that blockchain technology wasn't good enough. But Gavin argues that's only part of the story. The bigger challenge is attention. Technology alone doesn't change the world. People need to understand why it matters. And that's incredibly difficult. Especially when speculative opportunities attract more attention than infrastructure. Think about it. A meme coin that rises 500% is easy to understand. A decentralized trust architecture is not. One creates excitement immediately. The other requires years of education. As a result, capital flows toward speculation. Developers follow incentives. Media coverage follows excitement. And entire ecosystems begin optimizing for attention rather than utility. Over time, the original vision gets buried beneath the noise. But here's the irony. The underlying problem Web3 was designed to solve never disappeared. In many ways, it became bigger. Today, a handful of companies control enormous portions of digital communication. Platforms mediate relationships. Algorithms shape information. Centralized systems increasingly influence everyday life. Which means the need for trustless systems may be more relevant than ever. Of course, there are serious challenges. Even Gavin admits that crypto has not delivered on many of its promises. Scalability remains difficult. User experience is still complicated. Many projects prioritize short-term growth over long-term utility. And perhaps most importantly, most people don't feel an urgent need for decentralization. That may be the biggest obstacle of all. Because technologies don't succeed simply because they're technically superior. They succeed when people believe they solve meaningful problems. And for many users today, centralized services still appear convenient enough. There's another threat emerging as well. Artificial intelligence. According to Gavin, AI could fundamentally reshape how humans communicate. In the future, conversations, software, content, and decisions may increasingly pass through AI systems. Not directly between people, but through intelligent intermediaries. That creates enormous power concentration. And it raises questions remarkably similar to the ones that inspired Web3 in the first place. Who controls these systems? Who benefits from them? Who can be trusted? As AI becomes more powerful, those questions may become impossible to ignore. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is that it isn't really about Ethereum. It's about a battle between two visions of the future. One future is built around centralization, large institutions, powerful platforms, artificial intelligence controlled by a small number of organizations. The other future is built around decentralization, open systems, cryptographic trust, technology that reduces the need for intermediaries altogether. Right now, neither side has fully won. Crypto hasn't achieved its grand vision. But it hasn't disappeared either. The builders who started this movement are still here. Still working. Still trying to solve problems most people haven't even noticed yet. And maybe that's the real lesson. The biggest innovations often look unimportant at first. The internet looked like email. Bitcoin looked like internet money. Ethereum looked like an experiment. Until suddenly, they weren't. So, the question isn't whether the original vision of Web3 succeeded. The question is whether we're still early enough that its most important chapter hasn't been written yet. Because if Gavin Wood is right, the real revolution was never supposed to be about getting rich. It was supposed to be about rebuilding trust itself. And that story may only be getting started.